If you really want to know what the world is afraid of right now, or even what it's secretly hoping for, you honestly shouldn't look at the news.
Oh, definitely not the news.
Right. Instead, you need to look at what millions of people are watching to escape the news. Because when we finally shut our laptops and, dim the lights and just want to feel something, the stories we choose are the ultimate cultural thermometer.
They absolutely are. They tell us exactly where our heads are at.
Exactly. So today, for this deep dive, we are looking at millions of streaming hours from 2026, and this is all sourced straight from the Industry Hub Top Drama World.
Which is such a massive data set to pull from.
It is, and it turns out the world is currently obsessed with magical rocks, fighting ghosts, and really cutthroat corporate warfare.
It is such a striking snapshot. We're looking at the top 10 Chinese drama masterpieces of 2026, but the goal here isn't just to, recite a list for you.
Right. Nobody just wants a list read at them.
Exactly. We're looking at the underlying machinery here.
Yeah.
Why are these specific narratives breaking viewership records globally right now? What is the psychological itch that a fantasy epic or a boardroom romance is actually scratching for a modern audience?
Okay, let's unpack this, because if you look at the very top of this list, and honestly, a massive chunk of the cultural real estate right now, it is entirely dominated by these sweeping historical fantasies.
These are really big, epic ones.
Yeah, but they specifically revolve around physical objects, mostly jade.
Right.
Taking the #1 spot overall is Pursuit of Jade, which stars Wang Yibo and Zhao Liang.
Huge stars.
Oh, massive. And the source outlines this as a breathtaking historical drama packed with action, mystery, and romance, but it all centers on this legendary jade artifact that people will risk absolutely everything to possess.
What's fascinating here is we see that identical mechanism sitting at number 4 with Unveil, Jadawin.
Oh, right, the one with Cheng Yi and Liu Feng.
Yeah, exactly.
And Love Beyond the Grave, starring Dilraba Dilmurat and Zhu Kai. It's this tragic, really beautiful story between a mortal and a spirit.
Death itself cannot sever their bond.
Right, they are literally fighting fate to be together. And then at number 7, we have Love Between Lines with Bai Lu and Luo Yingxi, which takes this to an even wilder place, honestly.
Oh, this one is fascinating.
It is. A writer discovers her fictional world is becoming real, and she falls in love with her own character.
It just completely blurs the line between reality and imagination. The barrier isn't death anymore, it's the boundary of fiction.
I have to push back a little on the premise of Love Between Lines, though.
Oh, how so?
I read that summary, and my immediate thought was, isn't falling in love with your own fictional character the absolute ultimate form of creative narcissism?
Oh, that's harsh.
Think about it. You are literally dating, so it's no longer just boy meets girl, it's existence meets non-existence. The emotional payoff is magnified 100-fold because the characters aren't just crossing a crowded room, they are literally rewriting the rules of the universe to be together.
Which is the ultimate escapism. But we connect this to the bigger picture. What's really telling about this top 10 list is that the stakes don't actually get any lower when you strip away the spirits and the magic writers.
They really don't. We see characters fighting literal ghosts, but honestly, is fighting a spirit and deeply connected destinies.
It's intense. And really, this entire segment of the list is exploring the mechanics of love within systems of power.
Whether that power is an army or a board of directors.
Exactly. Whether it's the chaotic war of love and red dust, the corporate maneuvering and love's ambition, or the inherited family weight in generation to generation, these characters never have the luxury of operating in a vacuum.
Right, they can't just run off into the sunset together because they have quarterly earnings reports to file or, armies to command.
And that shows to process entirely different aspects of their own relationships.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Look at the mechanics of How Dare You. The pacing is fast and volatile, relies on friction. Misunderstandings and jealousy are high-energy emotions. They literally spike your cortisol.
It's an adrenaline watch. You're just waiting for the explosion.
Exactly. It validates the chaos of passion. But then Shine on Me offers the exact opposite mechanism. It's deeply healing. It focuses on mutual support and the quiet dismantling of insecurity.
It's like a warm hug.
It is. And that requires a much steadier, comforting pace. It's not an adrenaline rush, it's a safe harbor. It speaks to an audience craving stability rather than fireworks.
And then The First Frost taps into something else entirely, which is the psychology of nostalgia.
Oh, absolutely.
A slow burn, second chance roam of fiery collisions and nostalgic slow burns.
And by understanding the mechanisms behind these stories, you aren't just getting a watch list, you are getting a map of the collective consciousness.
It's a cultural barometer.
Exactly. You understand the why, not just the what. When you sit down at your next dinner party and someone brings up the latest streaming hit, you can explain that it's not just a fantasy show, it's a rebellion against digital ephemerality.
You are officially the smartest person in the room when it comes to pop culture.
That's the goal.
But there is a lingering idea here that I think is really worth mulling over. Based on this top 10 list, the most successful dramas of 2026 are defined by extreme, almost polarized stakes.
Totally polarized.
On one hand, you are fighting for the fate of the entire world with a magical artifact. On the other hand, you are fighting just to overcome your own deeply hidden, quiet, personal insecurities in a tiny apartment.
The macro and the micro, the grandiose and the intimate.
Exactly. And what does it say about our modern psyche that we crave both the ultimate grandiose escapism and the most painfully relatable, intimate struggles at the exact same time? And it makes you wonder, could the ultimate masterpiece of the future be a story that somehow manages to seamlessly do both at once? That's the dream. Can a narrative successfully hold the fate of the universe in one hand and the quietest, most mundane human vulnerability in the other, without one crushing the other? That is the narrative puzzle writers are trying to solve right now.
That is definitely a thought to chew on. Can you save the world while still figuring out how to save yourself? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Next time you sit down, dim the lights, and check that cultural thermometer, you'll know exactly the complex machinery running beneath the screen. Keep exploring, and we'll catch you on the next one.